top 10, in the top 11, and that screwed Tyler Davis out of a title.
Well, if you're watching us live, that's what he just said, and I do not disagree with him on that one. I promise you.
It's all good.
Let's
I mean,
see.
doesn't play to win, whatever happens. Like it just it's a bummer.
Now we did have to drop our viewership and start back over, uh, but I think we'll build back up, especially with us talking together.
Oh yeah.
Since I'm not by myself on this anymore, um, let me know if my mic starts getting too staticky or anything like that, because I do not hear myself anymore. I just hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I will. I'm gonna also try too because I've kind of been dual streaming this up on the big screen here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make sure that I'm live and with you. So look at this guy with this little chihuahua here.
So, oh, I see what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
CJ was blocking it when I was looking. So I'm doing the same thing as you. I've got the actual live stream on my main monitor or my big TV here watching it. And then I've
But
got
then our
our,
stream is like 5-ish seconds behind then. So like what's on
yes.
YouTube? Okay.
Yeah.
Word. So if I'm actually watching this, I'm not like 5 seconds ahead of you. I think we're on the same
Yeah. We are
time.
watching it about the same time. If anybody's watching our stream of it, they're about 5 seconds behind us. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, all right.
Gotcha. Word
Hopefully,
up.
we get a few more people back in here. I know I hate that I had to drop everybody off, but that was the only way I was going to get it to work with you on here. And I know nobody
I'm
wants
just
to sit here and
back
watch
out.
me talk to myself.
No. Might get a kick out of it myself, but you know,
Well, let me ask you: do you prefer Steve or Steven?
I prefer Steve.
Okay, because I have called you both like back and forth constantly since the base to bay.
Oh, it's all good, man. I mean, like it is my name. That's Steven is my government name, but Steve's fine.
Well, since I am no longer sitting next to that behemoth, I'll adjust the camera a little bit so it's just not a big empty room.
Hey, the banner looks good though.
Oh, I appreciate it. That's I had two of those left over. One's out there in the gym. The other ones are backdrop for the podcast. And I don't know about you. Typically, this is done under our whiskey waits away. So I'm about to pour me a glass.
Nice, get it done.
Will you be partaking as well?
No, it's gonna be a pass for me, but in spirit, yes. Not in spirits, no, if you know what I mean.
Well, cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, I'll cheers you the last little bit of my C4 here.
There you go. I had my rain, and I've already had my liter of water. So on to the good stuff.
Man, you're better than me right now. I understand you're gonna shame me into getting my gallon going, dude. We've had some water problems with the storms that came through, and like whatever the reservoir is that we get most of our water got totally flooded by ocean water, so it's all salty and stuff. I mean, it's
Oh man.
fine, but and even though I got like a pretty big reverse osmosis filter, it's still rather salty through that. So
Well, most of the
that's
water
not
I drink salty anyway with those LMNT packets, the limit packets or whatever.
not the good kind of salty like that. I hear you.
Yeah. Um. So
We're about to get
I
smacked by another storm too. It's coming up
oh
probably
yeah.
Wednesday. People are freaking out again. So
I got some
wonderful.
friends coming down to Orlando. They were talking about they said it today and it didn't hit me what they were meant, but they were like, we're going to see a hurricane this next week. And I was like, what are you talking about? I didn't even realize there was another one coming in.
Yeah. And dude, I mean, people are just. It's tough. Who knows, man? Because this last one really did fuck up some people. Excuse the language, but
No, you're good.
um, so recent memory bias, like that was pretty bad, and this one's gonna like swipe right across the state, west to
Oh yeah.
east. And what's the problem is, as well as it Dolly or whatever that storm was, like really was pretty bad with flooding, even though it didn't do a lot of damage elsewise. So like the ground is just so saturated that was one of the reasons why there's more flooding and problems this time. So like, who knows? Could be bad again. I'm in a relatively safe spot where I'm at, which is
Yeah.
good, but it's gonna be tough.
Well, stay safe. That's for sure.
I'm on the third floor of my unit, so I'm good.
It'll just go underneath you. So
Yeah.
the surge though in Tampa for this last one, He got up, what, 20 feet?
It might have, yeah, at least 10, which was pretty devastating. I know near me, I'm about an hour south of Tampa.
Wow.
And it got probably 10 to 15. It's Anna Maria Island is where I'm pretty close to. I'm only like a couple miles away from that. Something
Okay.
nuts, like 60 to 70% of that island is destroyed.
Hmm. Well, maybe this next one coming through won't be too bad.
I don't think so, but again, people are panic buying this and that.
Yeah.
But enough
Oh
about that,
yeah.
man. How about some strongman talk, dude? Let's shift some gears. That's what the people are here
I know.
for.
I'm here trying to get it posted on our story that we're back up live under a different one. I'm about to tag you in it real quick.
I just posted it out myself.
Awesome. I'm bad about doing two things at once. I get caught up and tongue tied. So I'm about to have this posted, and then we'll get into it. Uh, I hate that I couldn't get you and Trey on at the same time because y'all's two shows right now are literally, I think, 98 or 99 views separate from the
Let's go.
number one spot. And he was wanting to smack talk, and I figured it'd be fun to have y'all back and forth. But now you get your chance to talk unaccompanied by him, I guess is the best way to put
Well,
it.
he'll just have to catch up, man. Let me tell you, Taylor's old as time. Some big super heavyweight smack talking the little 80-kilo man. Well, guess what?
That's true.
Guess what, brother?
I know you kept
Yeah, it's all
texting
good.
me like private stuff, and I wanted to share it on the live, and you're like, just between us. And I said, dang it. So now that you're on here, you're going to be more likely to just let it slip out.
Oh yeah, I'll just let it fly now. I don't care at this point now because, like, listen, the bar is literally lower now. But I always want to walk this line between, not boasting, but like numbers are numbers. I really do think that at least the American deadlift record for U80 is mine when I decide to show up and take it. We've
Well,
been
let me know
watching, and
when
you
you
know
do
what it
it.
was. Yeah, I sort of just kind of needed to decide. I'm going to get past OSG first, and then I'll figure it out. I did reach out to these guys, to Pro Strongman League, saying that I was interested in doing this, but it's the timing was not correct between the OSG Southeast Regional and then actually
Yeah.
training for OSG.
No,
Like,
I
it
got
doesn't
you.
make sense. My goal is to win a bigger show, not just hit that record. That's the A1 priority. So we'll see. We'll see. But I don't know. Maybe, I also kind of defer to my coach as well. I mean, he's done a really good job with me over the last year and a half. And so if he's basically telling me, no, now's not the time, but like it will come. Like I have full faith and belief.
Oh, yeah.
That's that. So I hire him.
So who's your coach?
Max McCall out of Australia. That guy's the man. I have
Okay.
nothing but the absolute highest praise for him. He's a little more known as a nutritionist. So he's coached. Well, I know he just did Ross Remelard's cut for this show just
Oh,
now,
nice.
but he's coached people like he's Matt Ragg's nutrition coach.
Okay.
And like that's a really interesting one because like if you ever see that guy, what that guy's like upper back and his overall musculature looks like, he's like borderline too big to wear a deadlift suit. So when he finished third place at the World's Strongest Man actual deadlift rep out that they had this year, he did that without a suit.
Was Matt
Because
Ragg the one they were talking about? I don't know if you watched Big Law's channel this week, but he was talking about somebody during the deadlift. Just no, wait, there was somebody else. I think. Did Matt Ragg attempt the 505, or was going for it?
he was in the mix for it, but he did not end up attempting it.
Was he the one that fell backwards?
That was Austin Andrade.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah, Andrade's a beast too. I mean, and he's brand new to the pro scene, so it's
yeah,
pretty cool to see. I mean, the guy's great, and he's really one of these guys too that's very very consistent, kind of on all events. So
mm-hmm.
I hope to see him continue to do well. I always find it really interesting when somebody is definitively like the strongest person in the entire history of that country. Like Austin Andrade is like the strongest person ever from Mexico. you
Yeah.
know,
Oh yeah.
it's cool. You have Rano
I,
Heinle, the 6 or 7 time Estonia strongest man. I mean, nobody's close to him in the entire history of that nation and people as far as strength. It's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I know he's a phenomenal deadlifter too. Well, who do
Yeah.
you think is going to be the next 500 plus deadlifter?
So waiting to see what the full rules breakdown is for the Rogue Invitational, because they've already listed the events, and the first one that they've listed out is they build it as the deadlift ladder for max. Now, the way that I'm seeing and hearing that it's going to be run is that it's a series of 9 bars that are already placed out, like in set increments. 1 through 8 are set increments, so they're going to be laid out on the floor, and you do have 3 attempts. But if you choose to go to the last bar only is your choice.
Oh yeah, you can add to it. I did. Mitch Hooper was talking about that on his
Yeah.
channel.
Yeah. So, man, you play to win the game, but in my opinion, that record is Thor's when he wants it.
Oh yeah. Now, what do you feel about the whole Thor doing it at home?
So I've actually been putting together a more long form video and breakdown analysis of this. Ultimately, the record is Thor's. That's his. Given the circumstances, everybody else had the opportunity to do the exact same thing.
Oh, yeah.
So when you consider that,
I mean, he's a victim of circumstances. You couldn't help it. I mean, there was nowhere to compete to do the record, and he was already in prep for it before this lockdown, wasn't he?
correct, because that was going to be, I believe, World's Ultimate Strongman.
Mm-hmm.
Who then had that series of record breaker attempts and events. Past that, you had like Novikov do a circus dumbbell. Trey Mitchell did a 880 deadlift for reps. And what one of the craziest things that I've ever seen, and if you're watching this, I really recommend everybody to go check it out, is Trey Mitchell was like in his barn or something, and he loaded up that entire bar from warm up to top working set of over 800 pounds by himself.
Jeez.
I know, dude. I know.
I know. I'm very lucky that I've got a couple guys that train with me who they have no desire to compete or anything like that, but they pay to work out with me, do my programming and stuff, and I get very grateful for the fact that they help me load when we start getting these max weight stuff. Because I mean, just loading and unloading 800 pounds, I couldn't imagine then trying to pull it.
Yeah, I've got a. Well, I mean, it's a little different, but heavy max out for a yoke support. So picking up what I can off the ground next week, but that'll be. I don't know, but it'll be a lot.
Is that your training or is that for a show?
That's me for my training next week, and I train by myself, so I will be doing all of that.
Heavy max yoke pick, is that what you said?
Yes.
So no walking, just picking.
Yeah, just acclimation and then some back off speed sets.
I got you. What's the weight look like for a pick?
Let me see what my instructions are, and I'll tell you what I'm going to go for. How about that?
All right. While you look at your instructions, let's give a little information about the show that's about to happen. So, if you watched earlier, we caught the tail end of the women's. We had some stuff going on this morning. I wasn't able to be a part of it, and neither was Steve. Trey had joined us as well for a little while, so you can go back and watch that. It was caught the tail end of the women's, but also the deadlift championships. We did cut it short a little bit. I thought it was over, trying to get Steve back on the next stream here. Crystal attempted 508, but she did not get it, or 509. So we are now getting set up for the men's. Let me go ahead and pull up their event set list. It's a little different than what the women did. Again, if you're watching with us, we appreciate it, supporting the channel. But
what's up, guys? Say what's up in the chat if you're on. I want to see who's here with us.
Yeah, talk to us. This is a joint live, watch party. We're doing this together. Let me turn that TV down a little bit because I'll get a lot of echoes if I don't.
I got the events if you're ready for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Axle deadlift for reps. Event 1, press medley. Event 2, frame carry. Number 3, sandbag to shoulder 4. Sandbag throw series, event 5, and stone load for event 6.
Now we're getting ready for that axle deadlift. What's the weights on this? Because it looks like somebody head to head.
Yeah, they have a scoreboard or a number board out front.
Okay, so according to this, it's 610 pounds.
Lit. Wow, nice.
That's for a 90 kilogram athlete. That's a lot. I mean, I think I haven't
Well,
finalized it, but the weights for the limit breaker, granted, they're going to be doing a yoke carry into an axle deadlift. I think the heavyweights are doing
oh,
600.
hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Now,
So
again,
are you
go
keeping
ahead.
up with the events for OSG at all as they're dropping? Is that anything you're following along with?
I haven't, just because the last like month or so, I've just been so deep into prep for next year's limit breaker. Um,
Sure.
so honestly, like after I got done streaming your show and then Trey's back to back,
You're
I
back in
put it.
it.
Yeah, I've been putting everything into it, trying to get some more sponsors into it. Get progressed
So,
pretty well, but what's going on with OSG? Because I know you're
well,
doing
they
that
have an
show.
axle deadlift for reps, and it is a Trump axle style for the 90 kilo guys. The lightweight option is 595, and the Trump axle is 700.
Jeez, I'm assuming
I
I'm assuming
know.
suits are allowed.
Suits are allowed.
Okay, yeah. So
Yep.
it's a Trump axle deadlift for I'm assuming for reps. I mean, you got to get at
Correct.
least more than one or two. I'm trying to think. Chaos for the 90 kilogram. It was just a deadlift at 700. I think was the Trump.
Ooh. Yeah,
So
probably something like that.
and I'm thinking back because both CJ and Tyler were both competing over there. Like 3 or 4 of the athletes that are in this comp were also in the Chaos Classic, and I'm trying to think. I don't think many more than 2 athletes got more than one rep on that 700. So it's 700 on the axle. That's going to be tough.
There'll be guys. There'll be guys hitting. I mean, yeah. I wonder. I wonder. I mean, that's you probably have to imagine like 10 guys will get at least one, if I had to guess. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
and if I'm correct, I think John Hack is. You guys were talking about him earlier. He might be in
Yeah.
the mix.
Oh,
Holy crap!
really?
There's a lot of guys signed up for 80 right now. Jeez Louise.
So when we first went live, you did throw out the fact that you thought Tyler was robbed this past year. Um, I do agree with you, and I don't even think it's because of adding that 11th person. I think it was the press right at the beginning. He
Yeah,
was
that part of that too. Part of that. That's part of it as well. The some of those calls were a little questionable in my opinion.
because well he got to move on to the block before they told him that his yoke didn't count or his yoke press didn't count. And I saw afterwards several, even before that, I saw them tell the athletes, no, hey, you dropped it behind your head, you got to go back. They didn't do that for him, so that cost him time and points, and it
Yeah,
dropped him. I think if he had just got the yoke press without the block at all, just getting it would have put him about 8 to 10 slots higher. So
yeah.
the point difference right there would have made a huge difference.
Well, so they reorder, right? So if you make it into the top 10, they reorder everybody that's in that top 10. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say you make the top 10 and you got 15th on one of the events in the qualifiers, but you just so happen to be like first place amongst the 10 finalists. You get
Mm-hmm.
like reordered and rescored based on that. And because of letting that 11th person in, which it's not their fault whatsoever in any way, I'm not blaming the athlete in any way because you got to take that opportunity when you get it. That ended up changing scoring enough to drop him, I believe, to second
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Yeah, it was a. We talked a little bit about it because I actually went to his house and worked out with him, and then we went back to his house, had a couple of drinks, and did one of our Whiskey Weights Away podcast, and we talked a little bit about that. He's let it go, but you could see the podium photo was kind of infamous. You know, he's sitting there, and you could tell on his face that he was not happy.
I really respect how gracefully he handled that because I would not
Yes,
have done that as well. There's no way.
I agree. And I'm right there with you. But it's the battle today. Who do you have currently in your podium picks?
For today, for Pro Strongman,
Yeah, for the 90.
hmm, man, I mean, like, let me see if I can look and see if we got a full roster here. If I got somebody, so we have CJ Kraus, Jake. I mean,
No, based off
Tyler
the
Davis, CJ Kraus. Those guys are going to be tough to beat.
mm-hmm.
Um, both of them. Hmm.
Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with as many of these athletes some of the other shows we've watched, but I know
Chandler's saying Mark Cummins is taking gold.
Who said that?
Chandler in the chat here
Oh,
saying,
okay.
yeah,
He said
what's up,
market. Oh,
Chandler?
okay. What's up, Chandler? Appreciate you joining us. I saw you commenting on the actual live stream earlier, so appreciate you hopping over here and joining us for a minute.
I would not bet against. I would have a hard time betting against Tyler Davis, so that's going to be my pick. But like, I honestly don't know much about Mark Cummins.
Well, we're about to see. He's about to start off here with
Keith
him and
Cherry
Tom.
has done. Keith Cherry, I've seen him a handful of times at shows. He's a monster. He's somebody that could show up. CJ Krause just recently strained his bicep pretty good, so actually he's not gonna be my pick just because of that. I don't think he's at full strength. But the guy's a gamer, bro. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean he actually beat Tyler. Excuse me, he beat Tyler at Chaos. He took the win there, and I think pretty convincingly too. So I didn't know about the bicep strain, so that definitely is going to play impact.
Especially when you have stones at the end.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. So Mark Cummings is out of UK. Also, Tom Butts is out of England. Okay, so we got some European guys over here.
So we got 24 English Strongest Man U90, Mark Cummins, and 23-24 natural world champs and Tom Butts. Good for him. He just came out and tried that stone record.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't appear to be that close, so he's probably still relatively fresh. No disrespect.
Yeah, I hate that Adam didn't get it. He's been chasing that for a while now, and he was so close. I think he was just a little too far away from the bar there.
Well, that's one of those interesting things where the long arms.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I mean? Like long arms, you're gonna have a good pick off the floor. Like that's gonna really give you some good stuff for that. But like if you have long proportions all over, you have a lot more. Even at a low bar height, you got a lot of room to move that stone. So it's tough. Narimu, man, I mean that guy. There's been a lot of people that have tried that 90 stone record. It's still Narimu means that guy monster. Josh Dargis.
Oh yeah, he's a Florida guy.
Yep. Still, he lives in North Carolina now, I believe. But Keith Cherry. So one thing I'll shout out about Keith Cherry is, if I remember correctly, was it last year's Pro Strongman League, maybe, where he did something absolutely crazy. He did like 20 reps on the stone off at the end, and that like brought him from like 5th to 2nd to finish this out. So he's a monster. Josh Dargis, I've seen at a handful of shows. He competes at 181. He barely beat me. He got 2nd at USS Nationals, and he does a lot of these shows up. Like he just did the Shaw Open at 105. He just did Strongman Nationals for Strongman Corp at 90. He's a great guy. I've seen him at a handful of shows. Once he's done competing, we'll go throw on a volunteer shirt and help load and unload equipment and move stuff around, like the second he's done competing. So
that's awesome.
I have just tons of admiration for him. Oh yeah. He's really a great guy. Good competitor. He'll be in the. Go ahead.
I was going to ask. I was about to change subject. What were you about to say?
All I said is like nothing but respect for Josh Dargis. He'll be in the U80s at OSG. That's what he's slotted for right now.
I got you. Now, have you done PSL?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you were part of the 80 kilogram with Jeremy Shell was in it.
No, just not. I mean, my main goal really has been OSG the last year and a half. This does interest me. It just hasn't really lined up. It's not something that is not my North Star or anything. I want to go hit up OSG. That's kind of my thing, and nationals along the way. Plan on having a good run for USS Nationals in Charlotte, North Carolina next year. Because I tell you what, I missed the podium by half a freaking point last year, and I do not forget that at all. Yeah, it's all good. I did great. That was one of the best shows I've ever had, but stings a little bit.
Oh yeah, I imagine so. That's why I'm very comfortable in my 4th place average. All right, Tyler with a quick first rep. Wow. He's got a very narrow stance compared to Josh.
Versus Josh with a wide stance. Yeah. Wow, Tyler's ripping these.
Now, when I went down there and worked out with him, he was prepping for that Chaos. I think it was the week before, and he was smoking 700 pounds.
I remember. Yeah, he's a beast.
He's catching he's racing at the top, so he doesn't have to reset at the bottom. Like he'll take a big breath before he goes down. Normally you re-break. I've seen people doing it at the bottom. Oh, I thought Josh was about to fall out there.
Yeah, it's a good strategy. I do the opposite as well. I time my breathing up, down typically. But taking a breath at the top is a good strategy for that.
Was the current reps to beat is 8 from Mark, which, Chandler called out earlier. I don't know how many Tyler got there, but I would be willing to bet he's probably in the top 3 right now. Now, have you ever competed with CJ Krause? Because I know he was a U80 who's recently just moved over to the 90s.
Nah, he's been up. He's been up in 90 the whole time. I've kind of really been competing seriously. So
I got you.
But yeah, what a beast, man! It's cool to see him hit the win chaos. He should do well here. I think he's got to be close to the 90. Maybe he has the 90 kilo deadlift record as well for Americans.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I know that Dan Benson has it for the world. He's got an 880. He's got a 400 kilo deadlift at 90. That is crazy, bro. Dan Benson is a monster.
Oh, let me I'm gonna step off camera just for a second and fix something, because if not, eventually the comment section is gonna cover you up.
Oh yeah, all good. Oh, he's a little uneven, but he's looking good. Wow, he's timing that bounce really well. Oof. He's just like a shade uneven. Wow, he's banging these out quick, though. He should have good pace. Bet you hits 10 or 11 here. Don't need your bicep for deadlifts. I know that much.
That should keep us from having any issues.
So actually, when I did OSG last year on the deadlift ladder, Ricky Panjanaban, former world champion, tore his bicep on 675 and still completed the last barbell 705 with a torn bicep. Talked to him in the training and recovery room, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I knew it was torn. I went for it anyways." What a monster!
Look at there, we got CJ Krause and Tyler Davis with 9 right now.
Pinkerton all day.
I don't know if you watched earlier. I showed his picture from where he's screaming all day.
All day. I love that he called his comp the All Day Classic.
You got to lean into it. I mean, when people pick on you that much about it, you got to lean into it.
Yeah, love it. Love the passion.
Oh yeah. So his strengths are deadlift. Let's see how he does here.
If you've ever talked to Josh Pinkerton, you'll know that.
Oh yeah, he was. I remember he had a complaint about my my limit breaker show. He's like, I thought it was gonna be heavier. I needed it to be heavier, not winded. He goes, I'm too exhausted now.
Well, when people say that, I usually say, all right, well, run your own show. And hey, look at him. He did. Well, hats off.
Oh yeah. He was being funny about it. He was like, man, if you had more max weight events, I'd have done better. I was like, well, I had to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, right. Wow, let's go, Pinkerton. I gotta really give that guy credit. I mean, he hit like a 30-pound weight cut or something, and when he made it down to U90, his whole game.
Well, he was a heavyweight. Like he was competing in the heavyweights and the 265 and all that stuff. He's lost a ton of weight.
Well, I know I saw him at the Dallas USS Nationals last year when he was 242. Mm-hmm. So, that's
when I first met him. I think he was like in the 260, 270 range.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's shredded now. Like when I met him, he wasn't fat or anything. I'm not saying anything negative about him, but he's
not shredded.
Yeah, like he's got a clear cut 6-pack without a water cut.
Crazy. Jacob McBride should do pretty well here.
Yeah. Now my group chat for all the athletes for Limit Breaker, he is one of the athletes coming up, and he takes a lot of punishment but he takes it well. He's got a good sense of
He's a
humor
good
about him.
sport. He
Oh
knows
yeah.
what's up. Like
Oh yeah.
you can't, like you were saying, you can't be that ridiculous and not like have fun with it and like be about it.
Definitely. So Jake Allen. Oh, never mind. I was about to say it looked like they jumped him up to 10, but he's at 7. So still, CJ and Tyler currently holding that top position with 9 reps. Is it just me or is Pinkerton not on the top list right there? Is it just showing the top 10 or is that all the
I think
athletes?
they're slowly updating it. Yeah, so he'll be up there, but it's taking him
Gotcha.
a minute to get the scoring in.
Very narrow stance for McBride over there. What do you think about him doing the heavyweight at nationals last week or week before?
Who's that, McBride?
Yeah,
Oh wow,
yeah.
I love
He
it. I think guys that compete up are awesome. I have mad respect for that. But
he was doing a local show in the heavyweight position, qualified for nationals, and he's like, "Screw it," I went for it. And I mean, he didn't do horrible. I mean, he stayed competitive. It wasn't like he zeroed everything either, which is really impressive.
yeah, I there's so much value in competing at harder levels, regardless of it's having to go out of your way for just like tough competition or just competing up a class. It takes some huevos and it will make you a better athlete. So
Oh yeah.
that's that. Oh yeah, these guys are blinded on commentary now.
Yeah.
All right, we're in between events. It's going to be a quick little bathroom break for me, and I will
Yeah, go for it.
join you shortly.
All right. Let's see if I can get any of the commentary or the people in the comment section to talk. So I see we got a few people watching. Can anybody shout out? Let us know who's there. No, Chandler was watching for a little bit. All right, now there we go. I say people. Surprise on McBride 3. You got top of the medley. For the press medley, I got to stick with Tyler Davis. He is. He's a hometown favorite. I got to stick with him, but knowing that about CJ's bicep, that's going to change my lineup a little bit. I would have him up there as well. Maybe, I don't know, after that last run, I definitely think Mark's doing well today. I know Jacob's got a good press on him. Jacob did fair with the 105 because, he did the PSL at 105, so he's doing it at 90 again. Let's put Jacob in that top 5. Who do you have, Chandler? Let me know. Ooh.
So then what was the story about?
Chandler, did you dip out on us after you asked the question? Let me know who your picks for the medley. Talking with Mr. Pinkerton on the live stream there. Finished his interview with all day there. I don't know. All right, so Chandler said thanking Davis, Jacob, maybe Chariot Cummings. Lots of low 300 pressers. I agree. Yeah, like it. Definitely got to give Davis in the mix on that. You know, he's a top performer on pretty much every event. I don't think he has a bad event. Jacob, I said that earlier. I think he's going to be a good presser. Jake Allen, solid press too. I'm not familiar with Jake Allen, so be curious to see how they do here.
All right, we're back. What I miss?
Nothing. We had Chandler asked in the comments who we have for our picks for the medley, the press medley. I had Davis and possibly Jacob. Just Jacob did pretty good in the 105 PSL when he did it. I'm assuming just as good in the 90. But I didn't really have a third pick now that you've told me CJ Krause has had that bicep injury. Who do you have for the press medley?
Let's go Tyler Davis. Yeah, I think Jacob McBride is going to do pretty well. Have to give it up for the people that choose a pressing event picture for their profiles on the PSL page. So like Jake Allen has that. So does Josh Langlois. Sorry, Josh
Hey.
L. And Keith Cherry.
Look, like I said on the last one, born in Texas, raised in Alabama. I'm not going to pronounce your name right. I apologize. Let's see. I mean, at this point, Tyler is such a well-rounded athlete. It's hard to say he's not going to be in the top 3 for any one event. I know I sound like a homebody because, you know, he's a friend.
Right,
but,
yeah. I don't want to be a stan either, but like, I mean, he's good. It is what it is.
I mean, you got to stick with the consistency there. Let's see what the weights look like for this.
So I'm seeing 275, 100.
I know the 100 is the double dumbbell.
Oh yeah.
Which I love. It's such a in my mind it's like a bro gym lift, like double dumbbell press. I have a factoid I'm going to go look up real quick. All right. While you do that, I'll try to find the event weights. Here we go. All right, so for the press medley, they're going to be starting with the Cerberus axle for 275 pounds, double dumbbell for 100 pounds, power keg for 210, and then the big dog 12-inch log for 260 pounds. One time, and then the log at the end is for reps. They have 60 seconds to complete all 4, and they must be done in order. Langlos could be a heavy hitter here too. Massive circus dumbbell. Okay. Who else we got watching at home with us?
All right, so I just looked this up. I have this poster in my office. It's of all the like Bill Kazmaier records and legends, and this and that. And one of them it has listed as a 100-pound standing dumbbell press. I mean, so 100 pounds each hand for 40 reps.
Jeez.
I know, dude.
Oh, I think the most I've taken my 100-pound dumbbells for it on a flat bench, I think it's 12 or 15. Like I at that point, I'm done. So Chandler said, Langlos, young kid too, been doing strongman for 2 years. His first PSL with me was his second show. Wow. So doing a Pro Strongman League for your second show ever is pretty impressive.
Chandler, when are you gonna get back on there, dude?
He's set to do my show in February, which would make a qualifier for this show. I haven't announced it to anybody yet, including the athletes, but my plan is I'm working with Tyler, who runs PSL, and since I only have two divisions, the 105 and then the open, if an athlete comes in and weighs in at 90 or weighs in at 80 day of comp and wins, they qualify for that PSL show instead of just qualifying for the 105.
Don't tempt me.
Hey.
Or do, whatever.
I mean, I'm just telling you right now, I had a message yesterday. One of my 105s is about to drop out. That's the only full class right now. And a true 105, he said he's most likely going to drop out. So when he officially does, there'll be a spot up for grabs. It's first come, first serve, and you were invited.
I remember. Yeah. I never forget.
You come in weighing U80 and beat people that are 105. There's no way you shouldn't get invited.
Coming down, spank Chandler at 105.
Hopefully next year, 105s at EFI, 90 online qualifier. Okay. Well, Chandler, you might get 90 if I get this worked out with Tyler.
Just need more beef liver. I'll be right on it.
I have accepted the fact that I'm going to stick with the 105s. I started trying to cut after your show, and the only thing that happened was I got weaker, and nothing changed physically. So I went back to eating normal. I'm sitting at about 220 comfortably.
It's nice to eat normal. Yeah, I'm doing all right, but I do have to be on top of my eating at this moment in time. I'm good though. I can't really go off much right now, but I'll be okay.
I can only imagine.
Have you ever done any like really monstrous weight cuts, like water cuts going in?
The biggest cut I had to do, I cut 4 Alabamas last year from like 210 to 200, so it wasn't nothing crazy.
Chandler, what's the biggest you've ever done, dude?
He's done a pretty good one.
I did from 194 to 176 last year for OSG.
I probably ought to. Like, before I got into strongman, I was sitting at like 185, 190 pretty comfortably. I focused mainly on bodybuilding, and I'd fluctuate between 185 and 195. But once I got into strong 30, okay, sorry, I just got distracted because Chandler said 36 pounds.
Relax, dude.
Once I got into strongman, though, I started building up size, got up to about 200, then hit 210 last year. And this year I've been floating around 215, 220. I just don't enjoy cutting. I'll just rather go in heavy and lose.
Well, I don't know how you fucking survived. I saw Pinkerton last year at OSG, man. So I was at like 5 p.m. when he was making it for weigh-in, like kind of at the like last time window that you could do your weigh-in. I thought that guy was gonna freaking die, dude. But like he seems to have dialed it in a lot more since then. So shout out. But wow, I don't want to be mean about this, but he was like somebody was aiding him in, like he had his hand like on somebody else, like guiding him in. I thought it was like a blind retarded guy. Like and I mean that like literally, completely literally,
Oh
like
my
not as like
God.
a slur or anything, but
Yeah.
I was like, oh dude, that's Pinkerton. He's just like on the verge of like death from dehydration right now. But I guess he made weight, so
Yeah, I mean, and you're talking about him cutting right now to the 90s and the OSG to the 90s. At my show this past February, he came in at 233 for the
all day.
231, and like he had to go in and sweat it out. So I mean, he stripped down to just his underwear and then has sweat a little bit before he can get 231. So I mean, and he'll still cut
Oh,
down to 90 kilogram.
I got a question for you, dude. Did ever
Yeah,
anybody get butt ass naked for you for a weigh-in?
not yet.
Oh yeah.
Pinkerton was close. He was about to. Oh,
I've had well, two people and it's a couple, and the one guy's done it twice. And one time he missed by like a mile. Like there was no way that he was gonna make it. And like I don't know why he was like, hey man, can I like, go get naked for this weigh-in? I'm like, I guess. But he was off, dude. He was off by like 6 or 7 pounds for like I'm not gonna say the weight because that might be revealing, but he was
yeah.
off by way too much. And then the next time that he did it, he was like on the other end, like 6 pounds under, and I was like, that was not necessary, dude. and then his lady did it like too, and she was also like way under by like 3 pounds. And like I have accurate scales, so that wasn't the problem.
I have so when nothing was on the line last year, I did not have an accurate scale. My scale actually said that you're a couple pounds lighter than what you were. So if you came in at 232, or really 232, you probably weigh 231, 230, and so I haven't had that big of an issue. But for this coming up one, I'm going to have to get a new scale, a very accurate one, because it's a now qualifier for major show.
Yeah.
But no, I've had the privilege of saying no one's had a strip buck naked in front of me yet. All right,
So I started doing that in my comp emails, like going in. I was like, you have to wear clothing for your weigh-in. Like even if it's underwear, like do not ask me to strip down naked. And a couple of people that came in for weigh-ins were like, why'd you put that? I was like, because I had to.
There's always a reason for a rule.
I know, right? If it's in there, it's because there's been a precedent set, unfortunately.
It's funny. I've had 2 or 3 different people I've met in my lifetime who have said, "Oh yeah, there's a rule now because of me." I think it was Todd Williams at OSG back like 2019, 2018, something like that. He's a state chair for USS in Alabama, and I said something about a rule that was in the log presser. You couldn't use your head. He goes, "Oh yeah, that's because of me. Because when I did OSG, I got it up and it came back down. I kind of head butted it back up."
Wow. I'll tell you what's going to be a rule now is the sandbag steeplechase thing.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. I don't know if you were listening at that point, but what do you feel about that? Do you feel like that was cheating, or do you think that was just smart?
Wasn't explicitly disallowed. So
Yeah.
it just depends on the rule set. So in my opinion, that should have been allowed. And they
it was
they
smart.
took it back from him. They ended up taking that away from him, and they only gave him like 3 backs.
No, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
really. And here's the like other tragic part is, and they talked about this on the stream. He asked at rules if he could do that. He asked explicitly, "This is what I want to do. Can I do it?" And they said, "Yeah." And then he did it. And then after the fact, they like disallowed it, like changed it.
No, you can't do that. If you ask,
I know robbery. But I mean, now that didn't like change anything real seriously. Like he was middle of the pack for the show, so like there's that. But still, dude. I mean, that goes from that's like a top 10 event finish to like a 20th or 30th event finish. So that stinks.
Yeah. I mean, me and Trey were talking about that too. Like it didn't really help him with speed because I mean it slowed him down having to make sure he didn't fall and everything, but definitely impacted his exhaustion rate for that. So I mean, you didn't have to repick a 300 plus pound bag.
Yeah, something like that because he was one of the heavyweights.
Yeah.
So we have a keg, double dumbbells, so 210, keg. I
Yeah.
think I'm seeing over there.
Hang on.
100-pound double dumbbells, 275 axle, 265 log.
Yeah, so
Nice.
they're going to go from the axle 275 into the double 100, the 210 keg, and then they do max reps for the 260 while time remains. Did you watch the 105s do this when they had their show earlier this year?
I don't believe so. Maybe, but it was on that like beach pavilion.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I did.
Yeah. Which is funny because Jacob McBride was doing that one too.
It was multi-sport. It was multi-weight class people. I was
And,
going to say I'm not quite ready for 90, but that's only because I was going to say it. I could do 90 if I want, but I don't want to.
Well, you know, Chandler in the chat was talking about his big cut. He said that was for OSG. He went from 234 to 198. And big weight cuts like that, I don't think my body would react properly. Like if I had to do more than 5 to 10 pounds, I feel like my body would just shut down. If I don't have a good day of just like if I just don't eat enough carbs in the day, my workout's crap.
Well, right. If you're peaking right, you're not working out really like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday if your show's Saturday. So there's that, but it's not awesome, but it's like anything else. It's better with repetition. I've gotten a lot better at it, and the refuel has gotten better pretty much every time. I even really sort of botched one in April of this year, which was like really kind of good because I learned a lot about how to approach it differently.
And do you have the same coach for your nutrition, or do you do your own?
I do my own nutrition. I've sourced, so my water cut protocol that I used is sort of a mix of Mike Dolce, like the Dolce diet guy, Alex Bromley, and Stan Effordain's like vertical diet protocol. So I sort of have like pulled a lot of tools and resources from there, but I do the water load thing where you ramp up your water intake, then cut carbs, salt while the water is still high, and then cut everything. No water, no salt, no food, period. Thursday, and then sweat it out. So there's some other tips and tricks in there, but that's essentially what it is.
Todd Williams and Jeremy Shell both helped me with my only ever water cut, and they were talking about salt loading like the Sunday before.
I did that last year. Yeah.
They were like, put salt on everything, hot sauce, whatever you can. So a ton of sodium intake. I didn't realize how much sodium I took in on a daily basis until I did this, because I tried to go above and beyond, and I didn't gain a single pound. Like they were like, you're going to gain probably 4 or 5 pounds from all this. And I was like, nope. But when I just cut it out, I dropped so fast. I didn't even really have to struggle the day of.
It's enlightening, isn't it?
It is, it's a wonder my blood pressure's not through the roof.
Yeah. Yeah. So I went from that OSG, because of the salt load, I went from 194 with the water load and the salt load to 202, and then made it to 176. I was actually 175, somewhere around there, for weigh-in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I don't do the salt load anymore because I actually kind of feel like that didn't do a whole lot for me. It worked, but that's that. But then it's half the battle is doing your refeed and refuel correctly. So that's also improved quite a lot, and that's something that I talked to somebody about today, and I feel pretty passionately and strongly about. It's like not a secret. You get to choose whatever you want. But when you're competing, there's always things that are out of your control. And one thing that is in control is what you put in your freaking mouth. And people that eat, I don't care if it sounds harsh, moronically after their like water cut or just like the day or night before a competition, there's no excuse for that. Like, I don't know what you're thinking, but like you might not control how the rules could change the next day. You're not going to control exactly what piece of equipment, what type of log, what type of yoke, what type of this you're going to use. What you can control is like the quality and, value of the food that you get. So
100%.
Even if it's something like I got, at OSG regionals, I got invited out for like hibachi, and it's like, I could get beef and rice there, but like, I don't exactly know what type of beef. I don't know exactly the quality, even if it's listed as grade this or that, premium, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know for sure. I don't know what they're cooking it in. I don't know how it was transported, processed. Like, I don't know any of that stuff. Like, what type of rice it is, like portions, so kind of amateur hour, in my opinion, to be doing that.
So let me ask you, like, so when you're doing your refeed, are you doing stuff you cooked, or do you have a specific place that you like to go to?
It's all jasmine rice. So I do electrolyte drinks. So I really like to have a coconut water and a Powerade Zero, just like for whatever it is. That's just like what I really like the most. With thermotabs right away, just like salt tablets, and then at the same time immediately start mashing down. I do try to get like 5 meals throughout the day of rice and like a little bit of honey. So you have like a little bit of the fast carbs in there with the slower one. But it's like all white rice pretty much. It's all white rice and honey and electrolyte drinks.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, I'm up to what I do this past year. Like 900 grams of carbs, on Friday. And another 600-700 on Saturday, because that was a 2-day comp. So I had like another probably 500-700 on Saturday. Basically, just do it all again to carb up for Sunday.
Oh yeah. Okay, there you go. He finally got his first rep.
There you go.
You're gonna walk away with the one.
And I made the mistake a long time ago. I was a kid, whatever, young and dumb, refueled on a bunch of monster boneless wings from Plucker's Wing House. I don't know if you ever heard of that in Texas. That did not go very well.
I think because I've eaten so poorly for most of my life, and I've been very blessed to be able to work off the bad food, so I can indulge when I want. Pizza is my go-to the night before. It doesn't mess with my stomach, but it's like the most satisfying refeed that I've had. And really? I feel so much better the next day. I tried eating proper, and then I'm just starving the next day. I just overload with not a greasy pizza, and I feel good. Everybody thinks
one thing that a lot of people overlook is like, when you deplete that much, it's not just like the salt and like water and glycogen, which are like really like carb dominant, but also your triglycerides, like your fats that are stored in your body. So you do have to have some sort of fat in there. So I mean, maybe that's something that like does the trick for you.
The carbs and the fats from the cheese and stuff.
See this keg, 240 keg.
It says 240. Nice. I think they might have changed it because it was supposed to be a 210. So made it a little harder for them.
It's a good thing that sun's not cooking down on that log anymore.
Oh yeah.
Nice, good press. Press out on the log?
It's for max reps with time remaining, but I think they have to clean every rep. Yeah.
Nice. Let's go, Stefan. Squeeze one more in. Nice, good.
We got McBride coming up. I didn't know he was part of Untamed Strength out of California.
All right, so here's a question for you. We can. So this is the guy Chandler was saying, young gun, or nope, McBride, and then Josh. We had
Langelos.
Langlos, is that what it is?
I've been saying Langelos. I know it's wrong, but until somebody corrects me, that's what it's gonna be.
All right, let's see Jacob here first. What you got? You gotta tighten those weights over on those dumbbells first.
Try to get a little more comfortable here. It's gonna be a long afternoon. So who we got with us in the chat while we're waiting here?
Got at least 7. Langloy.
Thanks,
Chandler.
Easy first. That was a lot easier than when he did it at 105, which I think they had 150.
That's heavy.
Oh, yeah. I think when the 105s did this, they had 150-pound dumbbells. I could be wrong.
Wow. Monstrous. We got 260 on the log. Let's go.
Oh, so they don't have to clean every rep. It's just press away. Which I prefer. Like, I mean, I know it's more exhausting and saves you from having a ton of reps doing the clean and press every rep, but I like just doing the press aways when I'm hosting.
Wow. Yeah, so this is why I wanted to ask you, when you're putting together a show, like what do you have sort of a formula of events that you like to hit? Like what are you doing when you're kind of
So
like, all right, I'm gonna put together the next show. So here's the elements I'm looking for. Like, how do you approach that?
got to have a max. There's got to be a max lift of some sort.
I typically agree to that. Yeah, nice.
Like, and you always, in my opinion, you always lead off with the max because you want to have the most ability to do what you can. And if you put a max anywhere outside the first event, most of the athletes are going to be upset. Like, I'm tired. I can't get a true number, especially if there's any records on the line. I like to have a grip intensive event, whether it's just a grip specific or grip involved. But then the rest of them, I kind of just lately I've been taking a page out of Brian Shaw's book where I like to have multiple events in one run.
Yeah.
And like this year we've got a yoke or next year we got a yoke into an axle deadlift, and then we got a finger flip or finger into a keg press, into a sandbag shoulder, back into a finger. So it's kind of a
I'm sorry,
medley.
one more time. You have a finger into what now?
So you flip a finger, go to a keg press, sandbag load to or sandbag the shoulder, and then back to the flips for time. Yeah. So like you got to knock out 4 reps total, and then after that I got a load series. So but it's not just a single implement. It's a power stair for the first step. You go to the side of the stairs, you load a sandbag to the middle stair,
nice.
a sandbag to the back stair, and then you step over to a yoke and load a keg over it for reps.
That's cool. Like that.
So
did you see what Brett Fain did in Tallahassee with the Atlas Stone power stairs?
Man, I want to recreate that, but I can't imagine how much he spent on lumber alone to build that thing.
Love, for sure.
Because I built my stairs for the limit breaker last year and the throwing target, and I guarantee you I spent every bit about $1,000 on just wood.
Wow, I bet.
Did you
self-fabricate your fingers? Nice. Good press.
So Todd, who I've mentioned a couple times, he's got some of the nicest fingers I've ever seen. They're like 12, 13-inch diameter pipes that he can load chains into and set on a metal platform. I mean, it's stupid heavy, but he's going to let me borrow it. It's going to take a team of people to move that thing.
Wow.
What we're probably going to do, if I can't get a smaller piece of metal for the fingers for the women, it's going to be if you lift it off the ground and like get it to your chest, you'll get a point. If you can flip it, you'll get like 3 points. So it'll make it worth it, but I'm going to allow them to skip it if they just lift it up to their chest and move on to the next thing, unless I can get a smaller one.
Nice.
But it's very doable for the men. There's only been one woman to actually flip it over completely, and she's doing the show in the open. So I might make it just for the lightweight women if they get a point for picking.
So I know that Luis Valero down here, he was just telling me that he's actually going to end up building a PVC setup for his fingers at his show coming up in November. So if that's anything that interests you, I could get some of the specs from him.
PVC?
That's what he said, because he's going to be doing it out on the beach or whatever, and he originally had plans to do them steel, and he quickly realized that those are going to cook out there, so.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how thick is he going to have to make those to keep them from just getting destroyed when they flip over. I know Matt Powell out of Georgia, he made some PVC pipe ones for the kids. It went really well, but they didn't load any weight into them. I mean, it was just the weight of the pole.
Let's go, Dargis. This is the guy I was talking about who volunteers after he's done competing. Easy. Let's go.
He's moving well.
And yeah, you know the types too. I mean, I'm sure you've got them in Alabama, but there's people who, wow, good keg lift, bro. Nice job. But I'm sure you know the types. Like you have people who have been around for a long, long, long time and won't spend 30 minutes volunteering at a show.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Let's go, Dargis.
We've got a really good group of people here. I think we talked about it on the last live stream. Almost every show in Alabama is the same team. It's just a different promoter rotating.
Must be nice. But yes, that's cool.
We've built a pretty good group up here, and we're trying to grow it. I mean, obviously, we want to start expanding and working with everybody else. So that's why we got Matt Powell out of Georgia. We're starting to work with him. He's doing stuff for our shows, and we're doing stuff for his. You down in Tampa.
Yeah, you should have that USS state chair down there, dude, in Florida. That guy's awesome.
Yeah, he'd be a nice little addition to the group. We appreciate you giving us all the stats and stuff. That's one thing that we do not have a proper tracking of.
I either like know it or I'm resourceful. I know exactly where to find it. You know, just have to battle most of the time.
Well, and it's also up to a lot of the state chairs to keep up with their stuff too, I think.
Yeah, which reminds me, I got a handful to update from the show recently. Chandler, if you're watching, sorry, brother. I promise I'll have those done the next day or two.
Which show was that?
Chandler ran Swamp Monsters in Gainesville.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Last weekend. Chandler, I forgot about you, brother. We'll get you there. What? Sorry, man. It's there, dude. It's there. It's coming. I swear. I need to get a better system than the spreadsheet I have now, but it's all right. Figure it out. Nice. That was a very strong press from Jake Allen there.
Oh yeah. That's I think who Chandler threw out.
What Chandler's saying.
Yeah.
Wow, 24 Europe's strongest 90. Yeah, okay. Wow, let's go.
I knew that name sounded familiar. I think he did Chaos too.
Wow, that was some good pressing. Yeah.
He said no one has threatened me yet.
Hulk out, brother. Chandler, and stuff like that, like, it's not your fault. If ever, like, why are my records up? You can just blame me. It's my fault. I mean, like, for real is. So, like, I'll get them, dude. Like, sorry. But, like, I'll get them, I promise. I'll do that tomorrow. For real.
How many records did he have set at the show?
You're in the chat, Chandler. You can tell us right here. I don't know for sure. I've got the spreadsheet, though. A pretty good bit because there's still a handful of divisions that are open. So we're still filling out some things.
Oh, yeah, I imagine so.
On there because, previous state chair did not really upkeep with a lot of those. So we got Tom Butts. Let's see it, bro.
I think we had the same situation in Alabama because me and Todd, when Todd took
22
over.
New records. Let's go.
Nice. Well, congratulations, Chandler. It's always nice to have a record set at your show.
Clean and jerk. Nice job, Tom Butts.
So he was a natural world champ in 23 and 24.
Wow.
We're actually doing a live stream for that.
Four national records in the axle clean and press at our show?
I knew you had three. Who are the four?
Michelle Johnston, Luke Allfield, Brenda Schubert, and Motor City Magic. What's her name? Carrie Wright.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So Brenda Schubert didn't even know. Like, she was the one who was like, that's where the fourth came from. We knew about Michelle.
Yeah.
We knew about Luke because Luke smashed his, bro. That was crazy.
Oh yeah, that was insane. That was a peek of the video right there, I think.
Submitting them. Brenda hit hers for the 50+ lightweight category. I mean, like, destroyed it. I forgot what the mark was, but she had it by like 30 pounds or something.
That's awesome. Uh-oh.
Yeah, good for her. She was really nice. They all were really nice at that show.
Oh yeah, that was a great group of people. Dang it. I'm watching on my Xbox here, and it's about to power off because I have been sitting here so long without touching it.
Got to fire it up.
There we go.
Mark Cummins, another guy that Chandler was saying. He just said Cummins taking the gold. Mark it.
Yeah, he did well in the first event. So, you mentioned it over the chat, coming back for the Beast of the Bay. Are you going to keep it Beast of the Bay, or are you going to change out the title?
TBD.
Oh, okay.
TBD. I don't really know, to be honest with you.
I know you were debating on that last time we talked. I didn't know if you had anything official.
Nah, nothing official at this point. But so, I mean, World's Strongest Manatee is like that's my baby brand. So like I really want that to live on some way.
Mm-hmm.
But I've just been thinking about it because Beast of the Bay is also just like a good hallmark name, and having Tampa Bay, Beast of the Bay, like part of the next to the Tampa Bay Games, which is a huge like big league CrossFit competition.
Yeah,
it might be better to keep that branding in line. So I don't really know yet, but the show lives on. I mean, I haven't made a decision on that yet. I don't even know the dates yet, but so I'm hoping. No promises. I don't care about saying this out loud because like it may or may not happen. It's like not really up to me. But what I'm hoping to have is some tire flips next year in there. So I'm trying to work with. We'll see, man. I'm hoping
seen a lot of that lately.
Yeah, I know. I'm hoping through Feld Entertainment, who is local out of Palmetto, Florida. They're a big entertainment group that does like Monster Truck Jam, the motocross tours. Wow. Let's pause for a second and watch Tyler Davis destroy this. He's crushing it. Goodness gracious.
Very stable press there. Wow.
We need 5 reps to tie here. Easy. Wow. Yep. Good rack.
I think he only needs 5 total because 8's counting the others 3 too.
Right. So 5. So that's 3.
5 to tie, 6 to win.
I'm honestly finding it kind of amazing that a good handful of these guys don't pop up. Their heels don't pop up when they go for this extension.
Yeah.
So there he almost did going for that split, but
I think that's going to put him in second as it stands right now.
That was 7, yeah.
You got CJ here, who he is a very impressive log presser. Viper
and
pressing
axle.
over 300 pounds.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. Oh, but anyways, what I wanted to do, if it happens. So, like I said, Feld does Monster Truck Jam, and it would just be like mostly like, can they bring one? Will they even sponsor me at all? 2, can they bring it to the site? The dream would be to do like a Trump like tire flip if I had enough. Like I think that'd be sick.
Oh yeah, that would.
Maybe even have like three choices or something.
I know a lot of people have pulled away from the tire flips because of biceps, but it's just you got to do it right. It's just like everything else. There's a risk of injury.
For sure. Don't stack it up in a questionable order.
Yeah.
Nice, good smooth belt clean. Are you one of these people that's got strong opinions on cleans and belt cleans?
I feel like it's a disservice to take away from belt cleans. Like there's a lot of people who don't have that natural shelf. So I'm a big supporter of belt cleans. Yeah,
like give me a break, dude. We don't all have these big bellies. Good press.
That's right.
So you see how he's got that cuff on his right arm?
Yep.
I bet you that's from his strain. Wow, dude, what a press.
That just gave him the win on this event right here, and I think that's one for good measure.
No, I think that ties right there, if I'm not correct, because that's 5. And this would be
5 reps would give him 9 points, right? Or no, that gives him 8. That's right.
No, so 1, 2, 3 plus 5 is 8. Wow.
So he tied right there, didn't he?
Look at Pinkerton's blue steel look. That was an amazing run from CJ.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now this is technically Pinkerton's weakness according to their stats.
Home gym, garage gym.
Oh,
Should
yeah.
should put like the all day training compound or something.
It should. Yeah, they should have. I'm working on these type of graphics going forward. Unfortunately, if you have more than 2 or 3 divisions, it's going to be hard to do this kind of stuff.
Right.
But I have figured out how to do the scoring. So if you have like one division at a time, I can definitely do the little markup in the corner that shows the positions as long as I'm getting the information in a timely manner.
That'd be awesome. I've gone back and watched a handful of times, the streams and stuff, man. That was so cool. It's just so cool. And I was talking about today, man, just like the growth of live streaming for Strongman. We're in really a sweet prime spot for the growth of the sport right now. Good press to start. Nice job. Come on, Pinkerton. What you got, brother?
He dang near curled that up.
I know.
That's the other thing. Like you talking about the belt. I use my belt so much in my log press.
Yeah, I put it on that shelf too.
Yeah, that keg loading, everything. I when I coach people on how to do stuff like this, primarily people who are my size or smaller, I'm like, you've got to utilize that belt. If you don't, you're just wasting a lot of energy.
So today we had this Master of Stones competition, and there was a block carry for distance, and a lot of people were asking me like, what would you do here? And I did tell most of them like, yo, wear your hard belt even at the expense of breathing, and like rest it on there, because they didn't say you couldn't do that, so you should just do that. And the people that did the best listened to me and did that. So good.
So if the weight's not so heavy that I feel like I need to brace, so a sandbag or a keg that I need to carry that I know I can pick up without a belt on, I'll put my belt on loose just for that reason. So it's not restricting me, it's not helping me brace, but it's a shelf.
Like not clamped in, or it's not the like levered in or whatever. That's what some people are doing.
I've got I don't have a good one like the SBD where you can pick your size, but I got 2 size options. I got a tight and then a semi-loose. And for like my yoke carries and stuff, I'll do a tight fit. But for any carrying or something I got to breathe well, I'll do the loose fit and use the shelf. All right, looks like CJ took the win on that one. Or at least tied for the win. I don't know if he got the win.
Amazing. Good for him. Good for him, man.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate everybody joining us today. I know we haven't had a big turnout, but the people who chatting, Chandler, people who join our other stream, does help our channel grow. So thank you.
Yeah, watch hours. I mean, I got it up here on mine, even though I'm streaming with you. I got it up, so you're getting some fewer minutes from me.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Now's the time as well. I'm gonna give myself a self plug. If you can see the chat, check out my YouTube channel at Stephen M Coin. You see my name here, M in the middle, COYNE. Give me a shout. It's doing lots of stuff, cool stuff on there. Yes, all Strongman related.
If you haven't already, go subscribe to that channel. A lot of good information there. I know I was watching some of your videos yesterday.
Anything that you liked or did like, or if you don't remember, that's fine too. But
I did. The oversaturation of strongman. I agreed with you on that. No, it is not too saturated.
No way, bro.
Yeah.
No way. That is we talk about this overall mindset stuff. Like that's a scarcity mindset to think that.
Well, I mean, we've talked about it before. I think at your show, the rising tide is going to lift all shows. I mean, if you're not doing a good job as a promoter, you're going to suffer when there's a lot of other shows. But if you're doing what you're supposed to and you're taking care of your athletes, having more shows is just going to grow the sport.
Correct. And you get these opportunities like today. This was an all stones 4 events. Like
Mm-hmm.
you have the opportunities, like there can be lots of different cool, unique things.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm glad you feel the same. I mean, I think personally that I laid out the case pretty well. When you really
Oh
think
yeah.
about like what's going on here. I talked about that to somebody today. And they were like, well, why does this show had a lower turnout? He's like, how come this show's got a low turnout? And I sort of explained, like, here's why I think that is what it is. And he asked
Yeah.
me, like, is it because there's all these other shows like going on all the time? I said no, and I didn't want to sound like cocky, but I was like, dude, I drew almost 100 people on Saturday and Sunday, like less than a
Mm-hmm.
month ago. There's a lot of factors like going on here. Not every show also has to be a big sellout one.
No.
Some of the favorite shows, like one of my all-time favorite shows I went to was Brett Fain's Tallahassee Iron Vault. That was like 30 people. One
Yeah.
of the best shows I've ever been to. I loved it. Same with the one that they ran in Ocala. They changed the name of it. It's now the Ocala Strength Open. But like that was a 30, 40 person show. There's 3 of us in our group. Loved it. One of my all-time favorite shows.
Now, there's a show in Alabama that I'll do every year, the Battle of the Forge.
Yeah.
I mean, I think last year there was only like 12 or 13 of us total, but it was 2 divisions, or it was 3 divisions. There was one lady who competed, but it gets a lot of people are just scared of it because it's so heavy, but it's such a good show. It's Todd Williams, the state chair for USS, so he puts on a hell of a show. He has some of the best custom made equipment. And
Right.
it's heavy, it's gritty, and if you are not willing to, go hard in the show, you're not going to sign up for it. It never fails. Some of the strongest people in the state show up to the show. Like last year, Tyler Davis. I think Tyler Davis has competed in it the last 2 times that I've done, and he's won the first year I did it. It was just one division. It was 13 men, no weight classes. I did it. I was like the second smallest one. Still had a phenomenal time. It was a great show. But then you got other shows that draw in 70, 80 that are in the state. It's all depends on what type of athletes you're trying to draw into.
Correct.
Yeah.
And if Chandler's still with us, I was talking to him about this because when he announced his show, there was kind of a lot of backlash to it about like how heavy some of the weights were and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like, first off, nobody's making anybody do any of these shows. Nobody's putting a gun to your head and say you have to go do that show.
Exactly.
Second off, I will never talk down on anybody who is trying to put more of what they want. They're creating what they want in the world. Like it makes no good to sit around and complain. And like I talked to Chandler about this. He's like, oh yeah, I did this really, really insanely heavy competition in Ohio, and it was like one of the favorite ones I've ever done, and I want to see more of that. Mm-hmm. So like, yeah, bro, heck yeah, make it. Like do it. It's not going to happen if you don't make it yourself. So, it will draw people and just be what it is. When I started putting on shows, period, like I thought things should have been done a certain way. So therefore I did it. And that's just that simple. So like all these people that are yapping, blah, 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 that don't really do anything like that at a high level, like who cares? And then you just got to kind of see it through. Like it can't be, if you really want that to continue, like you just got to continue to sharpen the craft and learn and improve and continue to grow. Because if you do a good job by your people, they'll come back. When I was putting on my first handful of shows, the number one priority, and it still really is like, how do I make sure that people leave here saying like, I will come back to that next year. Like, and on the flip side, like, I don't want anybody leaving this thing saying, oh, I'm never going back to one of Steve's shows. Like, It doesn't really matter how big or small it is. If you make the event good, it's going to grow.
Yeah. My first show was 8 people counting me. Like I competed, hosted, and like, judged. And, we had a great time. We did a second one the same year just because we had so much fun. And that was honestly before I knew how much the sport had grown in the area. I honestly didn't know of any other shows in Alabama, let alone the Alabama Strongest Man going 10 years strong right down, the South Alabama. So I hosted my little garage gym strongman show. We had 8 competitors. We're like, this was fun. Let's do it again in August. We had 30. This last one I had back in April, we had 77 register.
Let's
We know it
go.
was 68 because, not everybody shows up, but it's just a lot of consistency, making sure that you are, you're upfront about who you are. The show will continue to grow.
Being upfront about who you are, authenticity, absolutely.
Yes.
I think that's a key thing. I mean, not only just like as a way to live your life, but especially when you're putting yourself out there and doing things like, if you're running a show, you are assuming a leadership role.
Yes. And
It's-
people will tell, they can tell if you're not authentic, if you're just throwing a show together trying to get a money grab. And sadly, I think that's what people are saying when they say oversaturation, because I do know of some people who try to throw a show just to make some big money. I ain't earned $1 off of any of the shows I've done in the last 3 years.
That's not what it's about. I mean, that's not what it's about. Like at my core, I want to provide opportunities for people to show up and show out and become better. So like that is what it's about. And when I'm just talking about my shows or this or that, I will never, how can I say this correctly? Without just making it super obvious about who and what I'm talking about. But some people glorify themselves when they promote shows, and then some people just overhype and make it more about style than substance. And going back to authenticity, it's very obvious, I think, to most people that's what's going on when you market it and talk about it that way.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
I know that people don't really mean this, and it's not about me, it's not personal, but then you'll have especially when people are like, this is the biggest and most badass show that's ever been in the state. I hope it does. I hope it becomes that. I don't care if I don't have the best show in the state. That doesn't matter to me. I hope your show runs really great. But if you're out there kind of saying that, it sort of is a dunk on other promoters that try very hard to do their best.
Oh, 100%.
Jonathan Chappell, my man.
Yeah. Hey, happy to have you joining us.
Yeah. So Chappell, I'm sure you know. So Chappell won was the novice division winner at Beast of the Bay. But Chappell, dude, Chuck here at EFI, they did the stream. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gave him a hard time about his shirt, saying something about CrossFit Strong or something like that. That's the name of his gym.
Yeah, CrossFit Be Strong, if I remember. But hey, man, gotta say that CrossFit came in handy on that sandbag medley where he pulled into first place and won. So, because he was talking about a very good training strategy, and we're using some of this now, is he's doing some of his WODs. Instead of doing a bunch of cleans, we'll do sandbags to shoulders and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I've gotten now weekly, we do sandbag squats. And I tell you, it's made a huge difference in my training. I went from barely being able to pick up or struggling with the 265 bag. I shouldered it last week like it was nothing. I pressed the 220 and I picked the 300 up for the first time. And the only thing I did different was I started doing sandbag squats.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, that's huge. That's huge. We'll say, Chappell, if you got any questions or anything, man, please fire away. We're kind of just free balling and talking here, but we'll answer anything if you want to know. Pro Strongman League, I guess I'll give you some educational bits on this. They've been going for a couple years. This was originally branded as Clash, started by Anthony Furman. They did some bits where they actually were on ESPN for the 105s. I've had a few handful of world record stuff here and there. But it's a good growing organization. So I think Pro Strongman League will continue to grow, especially with things like you're talking about, how you're going to be a qualifier for them next year. The sport's growing. Back to what we were just circling all the way back. You have all these new pathways for people. It's awesome. Having options is good.
I was very grateful for the people. So Tyler Davis and Jeremy Shell, who both have competed at PSL multiple times and pretty high level in their respective classes. They both gave me a good recommendation to Tyler, who runs PSL, so I was very grateful for that. Hopefully we can staying true to that recommendation. Bring some really talented athletes from our show into theirs.
I've toyed around with the ideas of, similarly to me, like how can I add some stakes to this and maybe make it a qualifier or something, or something else. You know, I don't really know. I don't know if now's the time to implement that all the way, but it's cool that there are more of these opportunities. Like every year, there's more happening.
100%. You know, I tried to get Limit Breaker connected to a major show when I first created it. I wanted it to be a good stepping stone for local talent who just hasn't had that chance to reach out to the bigger stage, also compete against some higher level guys. And we're slowly getting to that point. I mean, clearly the 105 class, we've got, you know, people like Tyler Davis, who has won world championships in their classes. But for the open division, I was trying to reach out for the Shaw Classic. I was trying to reach out to OSG, just trying to get it to be a qualifier for something big. But while doing that, I had other local shows asked to be qualifier for Limit Breaker, which was a huge, like that was a, I'm trying to think of the right word, kind of humbling. And I was very grateful for the people who's like, that show's big. I want my show to lead into it. And now I would like to grow this show into something major to where people were fighting to get to it.
Well, I think you're on your way, because I knew about it before I knew you personally.
Oh, really?
You know, like yes, really. Yeah, I did, for sure. Yeah, familiar, because like, well, one, I mean, just like Limit Breaker is like a great name. I mean, that's that's good just for name recognition, one. But I don't know. I mean, you pay attention and you follow strong people, and they're like,
yeah.
Oh, what's that show that these 4 really strong people are all doing?
Oh,
Okay. You know, so like if you give a crap, you start to like see the trends about like what's out there.
definitely.
You know?
Yeah.
Especially regional, because like I'm not gonna. I mean, I shouldn't say that, but like the Olympic City Pro-Am, like that's something that I think would be sick to do. But that's all the way in Washington, so like whatever. But you're much closer.
It's in Colorado, which still ain't it ain't super
no,
close.
Well, Rainier Classic, then that one, Olympic
okay.
City and Rainier Classic, yeah, both of those.
Yeah,
but point remains the same.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. You know, and there's another show the same weekend as Olympic City, March 22nd. It's in Missouri. It's the Apex Classic. They are very, very similar to what the Limit Breaker and what the Olympic City Pro-Am are. And you're starting to see these bigger shows where it's invite only kind of thing. And I think that was the draw. Like just being invited personally from a promoter means a lot to some of these athletes.
And then, hey, bro, I will never forget. You're the first person that gave me an invite to anything. I'm never gonna forget that. Like, that's awesome.
Hey, shout out to Chandler for that, because he put me on to you, and I kept an eye on you after OSG, and I was like, definitely. So, shout out to Chandler on that one.
Chan the man. So what do we got here? Is this a 50-foot down and back that we have here?
It's 105 feet total. I think they have to carry. So I'm assuming it's 50 foot down and 50 foot back, and they have to go all the way across the line. Yeah.
So deadlift and grip. So this should be a money event for him.
Oh yeah. I'm over here trying to not pay attention to the Auburn score.
Oh yeah, I forgot college football's happening today.
Yeah, a friend of mine.
Where'd you say? Where in Texas are you from? You said you're from Texas.
I was born in Beaumont.
Okay, for sure.
I lived there just long enough to learn how to talk, and then we moved back.
Gotcha. I'm from Arlington, in the DFW area. Born and raised.
It was funny. We were. I don't remember anything about Texas. We moved back when I was so young, but me and my wife were on a vacation in the Dominican, and we were in a elevator, and this guy said, "Y'all sound like y'all from the South. You sound like you're from Texas." And I said, "Well, funny, I am, but I don't have any memories of that."
It's in your blood.
Yeah. All right, Pinkerton, let's see what you can do here.
I'll tell you what was a good first that I've never seen before today. Kid Chris Steffes wore a helmet for the block press.
Oh, really? I mean, I'm not gonna judge because that is probably my biggest fear with the block press is getting that hit in your face. Was it like a football helmet or what kind of helmet was it?
It was like it looked like a soft, like kind of soft shell motorcycle helmet.
Oh,
That makes sense.
Any face guard on it?
No. Let's go, Pinkerton. Good carry down.
Oh yeah.
Nice. He's moving.
Okay, so this must be shorter than 50 foot.
Oh, maybe it's
Yeah,
distance.
No, it said 105 foot total, but I mean that could have changed based off of the location. Let me see if I can find the
Down, back, down, I guess.
Yeah, it's three.
Okay,
three
so that would be
trips.
35 feet each direction then.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
This is running a little longer than I anticipated. We got a little late start on the men's 90 kilogram, about an hour and a half behind. Not sure if we're going to be able to live stream through the whole thing, but
yeah, I think honestly, you probably got me until about the end of this event.
That's what I was just about to say. I think we're going to wrap this up here. I do appreciate you joining me, and I appreciate everybody watching at home with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's been fun.
Maybe some of my thoughts are if we have a good enough response from these, maybe doing some of the other ones that are free to watch, so we're not stealing content because we're not really just airing there. We're giving our own kind of feedback on it, but doing it for members only. So if you are watching right now and you want to become a member to the channel, you can do that as little as 99 cents a month and maybe get some more content just like this exclusive to members. Make sure y'all go subscribe to Steve's channel if you haven't already. It's right there in the comments.
Charlie Dower, let's go. Do we know the weight of this frame here?
So I think it's 610 pounds. Let me pull it back up. It's a good run right there.
Good job finishing. Nice job. The triple pick is good. I mean, that's obviously anytime you got to do one extra pick here or there, that's another good taxing element. Do you like that?
Oh, yeah.
Langlois. Yeah, he looks a little young. Go for him. Nice big cheese and smile. Yeah, brother. Interesting that his strengths are outlet stones, but his weakness is shouldering. Those are typically that seems like something that'll be in a similar wheelhouse, but
yeah, especially if you get a good hip hop with it and carry it on up. Are you doing anything with the natural strongman?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. But you're streaming. You're streaming the qualifier coming up, right?
Yeah, we just confirmed that. So Jonathan just asked, during events like this, do you hold your breath for each run? Me personally, I don't. I take short, shallow breaths just to keep that brace and less. I mean, it depends on how it feels. What about you? I mean, if it's a super heavy taxing one, I'm going to take very shallow breaths, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
I try to do. I would encourage like rapid, fast, as deep as possible breaths, like Wim Hof, like really rapid. So still short, but kind of as like hard as you can. And and this is something I would recommend for yoke as well.
Mm-hmm.
What that does is, which is oxygen circulation for one, and two, if you breathe hard enough, you can like use that to keep your core braced the entire time. So you don't have to like consciously think about bracing your core. It's constantly braced from the like violent inhale, exhale if you get deep enough, right?
Yeah. Do you use chest breathing or belly breathing? I know it's a
Try
weird
my hardest to
question.
get in the belly breathing, but like, I
Yeah.
mean, if it's, I don't really think about that. I just like consciously know if I'm breathing hard enough, it will get pretty much full body brace. Like I know that my lungs and my like belly will be working, but typically, not all the time, but typically, breathing through your mouth is going to be quicker to get into your stomach. So like, just knowing that and doing that, like, try to get into your belly. But like I said, you're going to have that. Typically, your belt, at least for me, my belt's already on for that stuff. I wear it for just about everything because it does help. And that also takes away, through training and stuff, that takes away the like compression and restrictive breathing that some people say that they get when wearing a belt. If you figure out how to work with that and just
That's
like
another thing too. You talk about the restrictive of the belt. A lot of people, I think, put their belt on too tight. If you have to suck in to put your belt on, you're wearing it too tight. You need to learn to brace against it.
Correct. I typically throw my belts on super tight, so I would kind of say the same thing as like learn to work with it. You have to like really like have intentionality about your breathing for that to not restrict you. So Austin, I'll answer your question. Yeah. So that's mostly momentum. So if you look at this, it's going to be maybe hard to tell, but the handles are pretty they're not long. They're like shallower. So this is all momentum basically. Like when they get picking up, they start moving forward right away. So they're like, as they stand up, if you're doing a trap bar deadlift and just standing up right in place, like if you're centered, like the bar will be centered too. But these guys are standing up and then like, as you would if you were sprinting, they're slightly leaned forward. So their whole body holding the frame is going forward. So that's what's causing the frame to tilt forward a little bit. Right. And like even to a point, like if you do that correctly, like the weight sort of pulls you with momentum forward, almost like you would be like falling forward with it. So that's like kind of a hack if you can master that and have enough of a tip to where it's pulling you, but not scraping the ground. This works well with farmers walks too. Like it's like a downhill carry sort of thing.
Now, if you got a long handle, so like this one right here, the handle's about as wide as their hands. It's not like you can change your grip placement on it. But if you have a handle that goes the full length of the system, like what was that show? Was it one of the regionals for OSG last year? They had the handles where the frames were flipping overhand. Do you remember that?
I don't recall off the top of my head.
Okay. I have a custom built one that a friend of mine from Alabama built, Garrett Tucker. So shout out to him. But the handles go the full length of the frame, so you have to grab dead center or not, or I mean, depending on where you want to do it. But I know a lot of the athletes grab it slightly back, so the front dips down and carries that momentum like that.
Yeah,
you can't do that with this one.
Mark here is probably holding this right at the very front of the handles, and that's why it's tipping forward. But on the way down, if he centers himself, you can kind of see how his shoulders and his chest are very slightly bowed forward. So if it starts to tip, well, there he's pretty smooth. So actually there, his chest and shoulders are bowed forward, but he's probably holding it near the front. So that's keeping it relatively even. But try to watch some of these next couple of guys. Again, if they're holding it in the middle and their chest is bowed slightly forward, that tends to.
Oh yeah, his hands are butted up against the front.
Yeah, he's just. You can see, you can see it right there. They just slid across the line.
There's not a whole lot of room on those handles to really make a difference, but it doesn't take but an inch or two off center, and it's going to tilt. Yeah. Oh yeah, just a slight imbalance. I mean, you're talking. This is. I think I finally got it pulled up. It was like 610 pounds, I think is what it was. So, I mean, you're talking 300 plus pounds each side. It doesn't take a whole lot to tilt that one way or the other.
Right.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be the last event. So we're going to wrap up after this event. I'm getting text messages saying I need to bring home some baby formula.
What's that? Let's see, Stefan Schussler. Let's go, big dog. From Germany. Yep. And then too, right, like further on that point, a lot of times, depending on their speed, it'll even out. So now it like sort of rocks back to even there. So it's just a lot about that momentum when you get going forward. Now he's all the way at the back. Ooh. That was a good time. So that would be second so far. Probably just narrowly edged out.
I think we're about 3 seconds off from each other.
Third, so Terry. Yeah, let's go, Dargis. This guy, like again, just like such respect. 5'7", little unit.
Man.
What I also really liked about Josh Dargis too, at USS Nationals, he was just like sitting in the audience the whole time, and just like whenever it was his turn, he would just drop right down and do it. Like he wasn't in the back warm up area. Like I'm sure he went and warmed up. I didn't really see him, but I know when it was like he was just sitting like with his wife and stuff there, or maybe his handler. I don't know, but he was sitting behind my mom and like talking with like her and like just the other group of people the whole time, and then be like, oh, okay, I'm up.
I don't do a whole lot of warming up myself. Well, I guess mainly because the shows that I do is typically in the heat of the summer, from about May to August. So I don't have to do a whole lot to stay warm there.
No, definitely not.
Cracked me up, and I'm blanking on his name right now. Big guy, long blonde, like curly hair, did Masters. I think he won at your show.
Long blonde hair, did Masters.
Like shoulder, like shaggy blonde hair. He kept walking around talking to us on the stream and stuff from time to time. What's his name? He won the Masters division, I think, for novice.
Won the amateur Masters?
Yeah.
Oh, Leroy. Yeah.
Leroy, yeah.
Leroy's got that same demeanor. He's like very, very big goofball, very relaxed.
Well, it's funny. We were doing something, and I think it was the sandbag to shoulder that you had, the Hell event. I forget what it was called.
I loved that. That worked great.
It was awesome, but that would be hell to do as a competitor. But they needed the 220 bag or the 200 bag or something like that, and nobody was getting it. And your lady who was doing the scoring for, I think, lane 2, she got up with the hand trucks and was about to go try to roll it up on there. I said no. I jumped over there and grabbed it and threw it up and like picked it up, carried it over, and dropped it in its place. And Leroy looked at me. He goes, "Okay, Mr. Livestream," or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, I do compete from time to time.
Yeah. So Leroy was my tester. Was one of my testers for the fire truck when we did that back in what was that, like June or July? And so was my lovely fiance Taylor, who I didn't really know how that was going to go, but Taylor's very fit. She's the elite CrossFit competitor, but it's still like 150 pounds. So like, it was sort of like, if she can do it, I ain't hearing it from anybody else. It's like that's that. Like, I don't care if you're 20 pounds lighter and you're a strong woman.
Mm-hmm.
Too bad.
Now, does she do strongman at all?
Nope. I've been trying for years, but not yet.
What if I send her a personalized invite?
Hey, I'm open to all options because whatever I am trying has not worked yet. But I mean, she's all over. I mean, you did the first 4 Monster Games not too long ago in Missouri, doing Gulf Coast Games next weekend. So doing just fine. Maybe someday we'll see. I mean, she would murder some of these people on like overheads, and some conditioning stuff would be second to none in this realm. So who knows? Leroy and Stanley both had yeah.
They were great guys.
Leroy, Sean is the man. Sean, I don't even want to know how many competitions that guy has done. I mean, he did Beast of the Bay, and then he's done 3 in the last month, and that's like the normal pace for him. So he's still going. That's him.
I think I've done 4 in a year, and that was the most.
Wow. nobody competes more than Sean Fennelly. And you know what? I gotta give him credit because he's continuing to get stronger and stronger and stronger. He keeps getting better. Leroy is somebody who we stayed together for nationals in Denver, and he had a great performance. He might have gotten 5th or 6th or something with a extremely unstructured training plan. And I sort of talked to him like afterwards, and I was like, hey, look, man, here's the deal. Like, you have the tools, and I meant this sincerely. I'm not going to tell somebody this if I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Like, you have the tools to potentially win this thing, but you have got to focus, and you have got to like maybe take some time to seek a higher level competition or 2 or 3. And like he was like, man, you know what? I've been thinking about it. You're absolutely right. He's been using my programs now for a couple months. Yeah. Since July, and he's getting better and better. So I really think if that guy continues at the pace he's going, he could be a big name in this Masters scene, like very soon. I mean, he's got low training mileage. He's extremely athletic, and he has kind of the overall right demeanor for like what it takes, in my opinion, to be very, very good. But the low mileage thing, because he's like 48, 49, about to turn 50. And like, I think really if he continues and keeps this up, those guys in that 50 plus are fucked if he keeps.
Well, no, he did great, and clearly he's listening to what you're training with him. You got to love those athletes who actually listen to what you say.
Well, that was what's so nice about today. It's like, you know, I don't want to listen. Different coaches are out there. People have different perspectives and different things on that. But I was very pleased when some people listened to me on certain events today and like executed. There's this one guy, Sean, Sean obliterated some of these events, like the block press and the block carry, for example. Oh, come on, Tyler. Let's go. Speed. Still plenty of time. Oh.
He almost flipped that thing.
He could still get first. He could still squeak it out. Oh, my gosh. Unbelievable.
Somebody just asked if Tyler Davis won F and Strong. He didn't win F and Strong. He won Limit Breaker. F and Strong is our more novice division show. Like, it's novice but local open. But he won Limit Breaker in the 105 last year. He's the reigning champ. Hopefully he's coming back. He's registered, but hopefully he returns to try to defend his title. Dang. I thought that was going to flip over on him there for a second. But no, I think you're right. If Leroy stays with it, he's going to do great things. And when you have those athletes who just listen to what you tell them, don't push back too much, it's always nice. I got a guy who I'm not coaching him. He's just joining in with my strongman group once a week when we do the class here. It's kind of a strongman for beginners kind of thing. He has no official strongman training. He's just brutally strong. He weighs like 240. He came in the other day and he did 265 nearly strict pressing. And then the other day he tried 296, got it. He stumbled a little bit, but he was able to lock it out and hold composure. So he's just shy of 300, and he's never done a show.
Wow. Yeah, some people just got it like that, dude.
But I mean, it's just, I gave him 2 or 3 pointers, and he's locked in on those. It's not like he's massively strong, but he listens and he sticks to exactly what you tell him.
Gotta love it.
Oh,
Gotta love it, man. I don't know if you remember the girl that won the amateur division for Masters women, Ellie. Mm-hmm. She's another one. Like, gosh, she is just so freaking strong, bro. Holy crap. That's like, that's 4 decades of living and working on a farm.
Yeah.
She is so strong, bro. And like, has gotten a lot better. And similarly, dude, recently she has, all right, let's see how this Jake Allen finishes. Wow, dude, this kid is a beast, bro.
He is. Dang, that little stumble messed Tyler up. It dropped him down into the 3rd position, which is probably going to be 4th or 5th overall with this lineup on that event.
Wow, that Jake Allen kid is good. I mean, Chandler, I think that's who you said. No, he said Cummings. But yeah, this Jake Allen kid has done. I think he's probably been top 3 on every event so far.
Easily.
Wow, that's somebody to contend at OSG if he's doing it. If he won Europe's, then he'll be there. But that's pretty dang impressive. And I mean, he's kind of got that scary build, that wide shoulder, like athletic, natural composition. Where goodness gracious, bro, if he just has the raw strength behind that, you just saw how fast he moved with that.
Oh yeah,
crazy.
I'm assuming they're reordering after each event. What's your take on that as a promoter? Because I've always done the reorder, but I know for live streaming purposes, it makes my life hard.
Yeah, this was the first year. Actually, this comp, this was the first time that I did not reorder people, and that was just for efficiency and flow of show. And I probably will keep it that way, to be honest with you, because it also just makes the whole day go smoother.
Oh yeah, I know it made my life a lot easier because we were actually able to keep up with kind of who was going. Because I don't really, I try to keep up the best I can, but I mean, I'm going out of state doing these shows with people I've never met before, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see CJ. This should be. Imagine this would be a good one for him. Yeah. Good quick start.
Wow, Jake Allen.
Excellent.
20 seconds, 20.91 seconds. He was smoking that.
Yeah, CJ, if he keeps this up, he's going to be 20.
If Tyler wouldn't have stumbled, Tyler probably would be in second or third right now in this event. But I think this is going to push him down to fifth.
That's got to be a sub 20 for him.
I don't know. I think Jake might have that one. I think it's going to be 21 or so.
CJ second, they just said on the stream.
Yeah, so he's going to be like 21. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bummer for Tyler too, because he lost some serious points at Chaos, fumbling the sandbag too.
Well, the farmers got him really bad, which I think they put as his weakness on here. Okay. Well, I think
crazy.
I think this will be a good stopping point for us. I appreciate everybody jumping on. Steven, you got anything you want to plug real quick before we hop off?
Absolutely. Everything on all of my channels is at Steven M Coin. It's in the chat right now. If you want to connect with me, love it if you subscribe to me on YouTube. Got lots of cool stuff there. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, if you're into that. Same thing on Facebook if you want to be friends. Also, at Florida Strongman, Strongman on Instagram for all things Strongman in the state of Florida.
We've got Alabama Strongman and Florida Strongman doing this together.
That's right, bro. Floribama Strongman here.
That's right.
And lastly, the Florida Strongman Club on Facebook. Florida Strongman Club on Facebook. So let's connect. I got a lot of cool stuff that's coming out over the next couple of weeks and next month to just kind of benefit all strongman. So just love to connect, kind of if you don't really know me, I run shows in Florida. I'm an active athlete competitor myself. I'm currently training for the under 80 World Strongest Man at OSG, and I'm the USS state chair for Florida. So really just try to be helpful. So if there's anything that I can do to help you out, help you find somewhere to train, network, have advice about shows, I do coaching as well. Please reach out, so use me as a resource. And I'm sure exact same for EFI and Chuck here. So we're your guys, man. We want to help you get stronger and become better. So, whatever it is, man, we're at your service here.
Sounds great, man. Thank you for joining us. And hey, real quick before I hop off, thank you to Jonathan for becoming a member to the channel. So we appreciate you becoming a member. That helps us continue to do stuff like this. And hopefully, if Steve, if you want to keep doing this, maybe we'll do another show. I know the Rogue, it just announced their stuff and they normally stream it live. Maybe we can do this for the Rogue.
I would love to, man. Let's do this. Let's look at this for future shows. Would love to.
All right. We might make this members only. So I appreciate you joining us, Jonathan, and y'all have a great day.